Hello, in this video we'll be covering a new feature recently introduced in Myriad 5 Playout that allows you to add user permissions to restrict access to certain stations or to restrict log access per hour per user. The reason you may want to do this is it allows you to restrict edit access to the log for presenters just for the shows that they are actually authorized to do, or just the shows that they are presenting. So for example, your breakfast presenter may be allowed to access the main station between 6 and 10 in the morning, but they wouldn't be able to edit or add voice tracks or take live control of the drive time show, and vice versa. So by doing this, you can restrict the access that users have to edit the log, record voice tracks, or take live control. And this applies both in the studio and can also be applied remotely via Myriad Anywhere. So let's take a look. Go to Settings and User Management and Edit Contacts and Users. This will bring you up a list of all the users on your station. So let's have a look at my contact here. So I'll double click on my contact and you can see that will bring up my contact details, my login details, and the thing we're interested in is the security settings. There's a new section been added to the bottom here to allow stations and hours, and this is the bit we're interested in. So the default is user can access and edit any schedule log hour in any station. So this is the default position right now for all your users, and it means that from the log in the studio or via Myriad Anywhere or RVT, you can edit any hour of any day. However, you may wish to restrict presenters to only be able to edit the log for the hours that you'd allocated them for their shows in the schedule within a specific station. So this new feature allows you to restrict the access each user can have just to the stations you want and also to the hours that you want. So to enable this feature, just click on the user can only access these stations, and then you have a list down here which you can actually add multiple accesses, because obviously if you're running multiple stations, they may have different times shows on different stations, so you can add in different time zones or different allowed areas or allowed time bands for different stations. So let's just add one in by clicking on the add button. First thing you have to do is choose which station we want to enable this in. So I'm going to work on this station here. So click OK. And here we have the hour grid, which just allows me to choose which hours this user can actually edit in the log. So let's say that I need to be able to edit the breakfast show. So let's say that I actually want to be able to edit from 8 AM, because I don't want to get up too early, till 10 just to 11 AM, and only Monday to Friday because I don't work at weekends. So hit OK, and we can see there it's added in the hour blocks for each of those days. So you can see I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 AM till 10:59 AM in the database I've selected. And if I wanted to add in another time band, I absolutely could do that. So maybe I'll put this one on hot gold and say actually I'm only allowed to edit the weekend drive time show. So let's say from 4 till 6 weekends, and you can see that that's been added in there. Once we're happy with those restrictions, click on the save button, and that is then saved. And from now on, whenever I log in, this will apply those restrictions to both whether I'm in the studio or if I'm in Myriad Anywhere. However, before we test it, there is one other setting we need to check, as when I look at myself here, we can see that I am currently in the administrators group, and the administrators group has generally got all permissions set. So what I want to do is just check the user permissions for the administrators group. So to do that, I'm going to go back out of user directory and instead go into settings, user management and directory settings. This allows you to check the permissions for security groups. So here we can see I've got my administrators group here, and I'm going to double click on this and see what's in here. So here we can see on the station permissions, the one we're interested in is can edit database settings, also allows editing attributes and scheduling settings. Now with this ticked, this provides overall access to everything to do with the database, i.e. the station, including the log, and this will actually override the the conditional permissions we've just set. So if I remain within the administrators group, then the settings I've just applied won't work. So what I need to do is probably take myself out of the administrators group and set the settings individually. So to do that, I'm just going to go into the user management and edit my contacts and details, and then go back into my account here, and on security, instead of using the administrators security group, I'm going to use specific permissions. And when you do that, it copies all the permissions you had from the group into individual permissions for this user, so it allows you to change the settings for this user without affecting other users in the same security group. So I'm going to click here to edit permissions and go to the stations permissions tab, and I'm going to untick the can edit Myriad database settings permission. So from now on, if I click save here, now I no longer have overall admin privileges for station database settings, and that means that the conditional or time restricted access to the log I've just set will apply. So let's take a look. Okay, so I've logged back in, so the user permissions are now applied, and if I would go to 10 o'clock this morning, I'd be able to edit the log just as normal. So let's go to 10 o'clock. And we can see I can move stuff around inside the log. I can take content and add it to the log, and I can go into the segue editor, edit the segue, or record voice links. If, however, I jump forward an hour to 11 o'clock, now the 11 o'clock hour is after my show is finished, and so I no longer have access or edit rights to the log now. So when I try and move stuff around, you can see that I can no longer actually drag and drop stuff, nor can I drag stuff from the media wall or the library or any other area into the log. And I can view and review segues, but I can't actually move things around, and I certainly can't record voice links in. So you can see between 8 and 10, I'm able to edit the log just as I always have been, but outside of the core times that I've got permissions to do it with, the log is read-only now, and I can only view and preview the log. I can copy sections of the log as well, but I can't do anything that is actually going to edit or change the log. So that's how the conditional security permissions for the log works. You'll need to remember to enable it for all the users you want to enable it. Make sure they're not in the administrators group, and also make sure that you're on the latest version of Myriad Remote Edit Server and RVT and Myriad Anywhere as well. And then these permissions will apply across all those platforms. Thanks for watching.